We're following new threats to American forces in the Middle East and the United States' military response. President Biden ordering airstrikes targeting Iran-backed militants in Iraq. This after an attack that injured 3 U.S. troops. Now, all of this is raising questions and concerns about how deeply the U.S. is being drawn into the expanding conflict in the Middle East. Let's bring in Joel Rubin. He is the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for the Obama administration for legislative affairs. He's also running for Congress in Maryland. Joel, thank you so much for being here. I mean, nobody could predict this year. This has been the most astonishing year in terms of foreign policy and what's been going on for so many reasons. And while everyone talks about the president, it's really about the commander-in-chief these days, is it not? And what he's prepared to do and what can happen next.
That's right, Laura. Look, the commander-in-chief is a unique individual in our constitutional system. The president is the one who decides whether or not we go to war. Of course, Congress can authorize it, but there's still many different windows available to the president. And we just saw him exercise one of those windows in response to Iranian proxy attacks against American forces in Iraq. And the president was obligated, quite frankly, to respond to protect our troops. So there's a lot of pressure on Joe Biden.
Was the way he did it the right way, though?
It was, absolutely. You got to target where the strikes are coming from and send the message that that is a no-no. And what he did in executing that strike was be pinpoint. But it does need to be complemented by a diplomatic message that's very stern and very clear to Iran that unleashing your proxies in the region is not going to get you what you are seeking. There have been over 100 attacks since October 17th, I believe, against forces, against the U.S., in the region. That's unacceptable. And so these strikes, they punish, hopefully they deter, and clearly the message needs to be gotten in Tehran that they are recklessly escalating.
You know, I do wonder, because you hear so much chatter about, obviously the diplomatic messaging, the involvement of U.S. forces, and that latter part is really concerning to so many people. Are we being drawn in intentionally to a wider regional conflict? Are we finding ourselves there by default? What do you think?
The number one objective for the White House is clearly to stay out of regional conflict in light of this war between Israel and Hamas. This is not a war of our doing. This is a war that Hamas started. It's a war that Israel is responding to. But we have allies in the region across the Middle East. We are in Iraq at the invitation of the Iraqi government. We are there fighting a counterterrorism mission. And so our position in the region across many countries is solid. And what Iran is doing right now is trying to see how far it can go in pushing and prodding. I truly believe that Iran wants the United States out of the Middle East. I think that serves their strategic interests, and that's not where the United States is, and it's not where our allies across the Arab world are. So getting sucked into it is a sort of a parallel dynamic to the Israel-Hamas war, and Iran is trying to see how far they can go.
The United States is a heck of a bear to try to poke.
Oh, yeah.
And you do wonder, though, is there a way to deter what's happening with Iran and not escalate the situation? That's a very, very fine line to walk.
Very fine line. And it means that all aspects of American power need to be accessed in order to prevent an escalation. So there is this immediate military response that's targeted and focused, not going crazy like some loud voices want. They want, for some reason, the president to attack Tehran or start a war with a country that's 3 times the size of Iraq. That's incredibly unwise. But we also have other deterrence measures, aircraft carrier groups in the Eastern Mediterranean. And again, these alliances, and this is where it's very crucial right now, and we see our diplomats engaged actively, but they need to continue to engage and lean in on our allies in the region to get the message across to Iran that it is playing with fire, that it is undermining regional security, and it's not going to obtain objectives. So all of these aspects, all of these tools have to come into play. It's not in anyone's interest to see an American war with Iran. It will not achieve objectives that many voices in this city in particular want to see, where they want to see Iran deterred somehow and start a war. That will backfire. But that doesn't mean that we walk away from the Middle East either. So, yes, it's a real tightrope.
It is. I mean, wow, what a needle to thread. We'll see what the commander-in-chief does about all of it. Thank you so much, Joel Rubin.